There comes a moment in every life when a person must pause and look honestly at the influences surrounding them. Not every voice that speaks into your life is meant to guide you toward peace, and not every presence around you is meant to strengthen your spirit. Some people bring light, encouragement, and hope, but others quietly drain your strength, fill your mind with doubt, and pull your focus away from the purpose placed within you. The truth is that your energy, your peace, and your inner strength are some of the most valuable gifts you possess, and they must be guarded with wisdom and courage. Many people spend years trying to please everyone around them. They tolerate negativity, criticism, and discouragement because they fear disappointing others or appearing unkind. Yet the more they try to carry the weight of toxic voices, the heavier their hearts become. Their confidence weakens, their dreams begin to fade, and the joy that once lived within them slowly disappears. Life was never meant to be lived under the shadow of constant negativity. A healthy soul cannot grow in an environment where bitterness and hostility are constantly present. Protecting your energy does not mean you hate others. It does not mean you turn cold or selfish. It simply means you understand the value of the peace that lives within you. When you recognize that your mind and spirit deserve protection, you begin to make wiser choices about who and what you allow to influence your life. You learn that silence can sometimes be stronger than argument. Distance can sometimes be healthier than confrontation. And peace is often found when you stop allowing toxic voices to control your thoughts. Every person in this world has a limited amount of emotional and mental energy each day. The question is not whether you have energy, but where that energy will be invested. If you pour it into negativity, conflict, and people who constantly bring discouragement, you will feel exhausted and empty. But when you protect that energy and place it into growth, hope, and purpose, something powerful begins to happen inside you. Your mind becomes clearer, your confidence grows stronger, and your direction in life becomes more focused. There are people who will misunderstand your decision to protect your peace. Some may say you have changed. Others may accuse you of becoming distant. But growth always requires courage. When a person begins to value their peace, they naturally step away from environments that destroy it. That is not weakness, that is wisdom. The strongest individuals are not those who fight every battle placed before them, but those who know which battles are not worth their spirit. Life is too precious to spend it surrounded by constant negativity. Your dreams deserve a healthy environment. Your mind deserves calm. Your spirit deserves freedom from voices that try to dim the light placed within you. When you begin to guard your energy with courage and clarity, you create space for strength, purpose, and peace to grow within your life. And once that peace begins to grow, no toxic voice will ever have the power to steal it again. Recognizing who is draining your energy and holding you back there comes a moment in life when you begin to notice something subtle but powerful happening around you. You walk into certain rooms and your spirit feels lighter, your mind becomes clear, and your motivation grows stronger. But there are other moments, other places, and sometimes other people who leave you feeling exhausted without doing any physical work. You feel drained after conversations with them. Your excitement fades, your confidence shrinks, and the dreams that once felt alive inside you suddenly feel distant. That feeling is not accidental. It is the quiet signal that someone or something in your life is pulling energy from you instead of adding strength to you. Energy is not just about physical strength. It is about the emotional and mental power that drives your decisions, fuels your dreams, and pushes you forward when life becomes difficult. Every day you wake up with a certain amount of that energy, and how you spend it determines the direction of your life. When the wrong people are constantly around you, they slowly chip away at that power. They may not even realize they are doing it, but their words, attitudes, and behaviors begin to weigh on your mind. The first step in protecting yourself is learning to recognize the signs. People who drain your energy often hide behind familiar faces. They may be friends, coworkers, or even people you have known for years. At first, everything seems normal, but over time, their patterns become clear. They complain constantly, but never look for solutions. They criticize your goals instead of encouraging them. They laugh at your ambitions, or question whether you are capable of achieving something greater. Instead of lifting your spirit, they plant seeds of doubt in your mind. You begin to notice that after spending time with them, your thoughts change. The ideas that once excited you start to feel unrealistic. The motivation that once pushed you to work harder begins to fade. This is how energy drains happen. It is not always loud or dramatic. Sometimes it is quiet and gradual, like a slow leak that empties a tank before you even realize what is happening. Recognizing this truth requires honesty with yourself. Many people stay connected to negative influences simply because those relationships are familiar. They have known those people for a long time, so they ignore the impact those relationships are having on their growth. But familiarity does not always mean health. Just because someone has been around you for years does not mean they deserve unlimited access to your energy. Strong individuals learn to observe how people affect their mindset. They pay attention to how they feel after conversations, after meetings, after moments spent with certain individuals. If someone constantly leaves you feeling discouraged, tired, or doubtful about your own potential, that is a signal you should never ignore. Life is too short to carry the weight of negativity that does not belong to you. Another important truth is that people who drain your energy often resist your growth. The moment you start aiming higher, improving your habits, or chasing bigger dreams, they become uncomfortable. Your progress reminds them of the risks they never took and the effort they never made. Instead of being inspired by your journey, they try to pull you back to the level where they feel comfortable. They might disguise their negativity as advice or concern, but deep down their words are designed to slow you down. Recognizing this pattern does not mean you become angry or bitter toward those individuals. It simply means you become aware. Awareness gives you power. Once you see the influence clearly, you can decide how much space that influence deserves in your life. Sometimes the best response is distance. Not hostility, not arguments, just quiet distance that protects your focus. When you create that distance, something remarkable begins to happen. The noise fades. The doubts begin to disappear. The mental space that was once filled with negativity becomes open again. In that space, your confidence begins to rebuild itself. Your ideas return. Your motivati rises because it is no longer being weighed down by constant criticism or pessimism. Great progress in life often requires difficult decisions about who you allow close to your dreams. Not everyone is meant to walk every stage of your journey with you. Some people are part of your past, some are part of your present, and only a few are meant to walk beside you as you move toward your future. Recognizing the difference between those roles is a sign of emotional strength. Your time is limited, your focus is valuable, your energy is precious. When you invest those things into people who inspire growth, challenge you to become better, and believe in the vision you carry, your life begins to move in a powerful direction. But when those same resources are constantly given to people who doubt you, criticize you, or discourage you, progress becomes slow and exhausting. The strongest individuals are not the ones who fight every negative voice they encounter. The strongest individuals are the ones who recognize those voices early and refuse to allow them permanent space in their minds. They understand that protecting their energy is not selfish. It is necessary for becoming the person they were meant to be. And once you truly learn to recognize who is draining your strength and holding you back, you gain a new level of control over your life because you stop wasting your energy trying to convince negative voices to believe in you, and instead, you focus that same energy on growth, discipline, and purpose. Moving forward with a clear mind and a determined spirit that refuses to be slowed down by anyone who cannot see the greatness you are working to build within yourself. Setting boundaries without guilt or fear. There comes a time in life when a person must understand true value of their peace. Not the kind of peace that comes from avoiding every conflict, but the kind that comes from respecting your own worth. Too many people spend their lives trying to keep everyone else comfortable while quietly sacrificing their own well-being. They say yes when they want to say no. They accept disrespect because they fear losing relationships. They allow others to cross lines that should never have been crossed. Over time, this pattern begins to weaken their confidence and drain their spirit. The truth is, that a person who never sets boundaries slowly loses control of their own life. Boundaries are not about building walls around your heart. They are about drawing clear lines around your self-respect. They are the quiet declaration that your time, your energy, and your mental peace matter. When you understand this, you begin to realize that boundaries are not acts of selfishness. They are acts of strength. They are the tools that protect your focus and allow you to grow without constant interference from negativity or unnecessary demands. Many people struggle with setting boundaries because they feel guilty. They worry that saying no will disappoint someone. They fear being misunderstood or labeled as difficult. This guilt often comes from a deep desire to be liked or accepted. But acceptance that requires you to constantly sacrifice your peace is not healthy acceptance. True respect in any relationship comes when both people value each other's space, time, and dignity. When you start setting boundaries, the first challenge is internal. Your mind will question your decision. It will remind you of all the times you stayed silent before. It will try to convince you that keeping the peace is easier than protecting it. But real peace does not come from silence in the face of disrespect. Real peace comes from knowing that you have the courage to stand up for yourself with calm confidence. Setting boundaries does not require anger or harshness. In fact, the strongest boundaries are often delivered with quiet clarity. You simply state what you will accept and what you will not. You do not need to argue, defend yourself endlessly, or raise your voice. Your firmness speaks louder than emotion. When people see that your standards are steady and consistent, they begin to understand that those lines are not temporary. They are part of who you are. Some people will respect your boundaries immediately. They will recognize that your limits are healthy and necessary. But others may react differently. They may become frustrated because they were used to having unlimited access to your time and energy. They may accuse you of changing or becoming distant. This reaction is not a sign that your boundaries are wrong. In many cases, it simply reveals that the relationship was built on imbalance. Growth often requires you to disappoint people who benefited from your lack of boundaries. That truth can feel uncomfortable at first, but it is part of developing true self-respect. When you stop allowing others to control your time, your emotions, or your decisions, you begin to reclaim the strength that was always meant to belong to you. Fear is another obstacle that stops people from setting boundaries. They fear losing relationships, opportunities, or approval. But living in constant fear of other people's reactions keeps you trapped in a cycle where your needs are always placed last. A strong individual understands that any relationship worth keeping will survive honest boundaries. And if a relationship collapses the moment you begin to respect yourself, that relationship was never built on genuine respect in the first place. When you begin setting boundaries without guilt or fear, something powerful begins to change inside you. Your confidence grows because you are no longer living under constant pressure to please everyone around you. Your mind becomes clearer because you are no longer carrying responsibilities that were never yours to carry. You start to realize that protecting your peace gives you the strength to focus on your purpose. Boundaries also teach others how to treat you. People observe what you tolerate and what you refuse to accept. When you consistently protect your time, your energy, and your dignity, you send a clear message that your life has direction and value. Over time, the people who respect that message remain close to you, while those who cannot respect it naturally drift away. There is a quiet power in knowing that you do not need to explain every decision you make. Your life is not a courtroom where every choice must be defended. Your life is a path that only you are responsible for walking. When you embrace that truth, the fear of judgment loses its power over you. A person who learns to set boundaries becomes stronger not because they push people away, but because they protect what matters most. They protect their energy so they can invest it in growth. They protect their time so they can pursue meaningful goals. They protect their peace so they can live with clarity and purpose. And when you finally reach the point where you can stand firm in your boundaries without guilt and without fear, you discover a deeper kind of freedom, because you are no longer controlled by the expectations of others, and instead you move forward with calm strength, guided by self-respect and the unshakable understanding that your peace is far too valuable to be sacrificed for the comfort of anyone who refuses to honor the person you are becoming. Choosing peace over arguments and negativity. There is a powerful kind of strength that does not shout, does not fight every battle, and does not waste energy trying to prove something to everyone around it. It is the quiet strength of a person who understands the value of peace. In a world filled with noise, opinions, criticism, and endless arguments, the ability to choose peace is one of the most powerful decisions a person can make in their life. It is not weakness. It is not avoidance. It is not avoidance. It is wisdom, discipline, and control over your own spirit. Many people grow up believing that they must respond to every challenge, every insult, and every disagreement that comes their way. They feel that silence means defeat, and that walking away means surrender. But the truth is something far greater than that. Not every argument deserves your attention, and not every negative voice deserves a response. The strongest individuals understand that their energy is limited, and they refuse to waste it on conflicts that bring no value to their lives. Arguments often begin with small moments of disagreement. A comment here, an opinion there, a misunderstanding that slowly grows into tension. Before long, emotions rise, voices become louder, and both sides begin defending their positions with pride and stubbornness. But what many people fail to realize is that most arguments are not about truth or growth. They are about ego. Each person wants to feel right, to feel superior, to feel validated, and while both sides fight to win the argument, something more valuable is quietly lost in the process. Peace disappears. Peace is not something that appears by accident. It is something you choose. It is the decision to step back and recognize that some battles are simply not worth your time. When someone speaks with negativity or tries to provoke you into conflict, you always have a choice. You can step into the argument and allow it to control your emotions, or you can step away and protect your calm. That decision may seem small in the moment, but over time it shapes the direction of your entire life. Negativity spreads quick, when it is given attention. When one person complains, criticizes, or spreads bitterness, that energy has the potential to infect everyone around them. But negativity loses its power when it meets someone who refuses to feed it. When you respond with calmness instead of anger, when you choose silence instead of retaliation, the cycle of conflict begins to break. Choosing peace does not mean you agree with everything people say. It does not mean you accept disrespect or allow others to treat you poorly. It simply means you refuse to let negativity control your emotions. You maintain your dignity by refusing to sink into the same level of hostility that others bring towards you. There is a quiet confidence in that kind of control. It shows that your character is stronger than any insult thrown in your direction. Life becomes lighter when you stop carrying unnecessary arguments in your mind. Think about how many people spend hours replaying conversations in their heads, thinking about what they should have said or how they should have responded. That mental weight drains energy that could have been used for growth, creativity, or purpose. When you choose peace, you release yourself from that burden. You allow your mind to focus on things that move you forward instead of things that hold you back. Another important truth is that arguments rarely change people. Most individuals enter a conflict already convinced that they are right. No matter how strong your logic or how clear your explanation may be, they are not truly listening. They are simply waiting for their turn to speak. When you recognize this pattern, you begin to understand that many arguments are not productive conversations. They are emotional battles where no one truly wins. A person who values peace understands that their purpose is greater than temporary victories in meaningless debates. They focus their attention on building something meaningful in their lives. Their goals, their dreams, and their growth demand energy and concentration. Wasting that energy on constant conflict only slows down the progress they are working so hard to achieve. There is also something powerful about the message your peace sends to others. When people try to provoke you and you refuse to react with anger, they begin to see that you are not easily controlled by emotion. Your calm becomes a form of strength that others cannot shake. Over time, many individuals begin to respect that quiet discipline because they realize they cannot pull you into the chaos they carry within themselves. Choosing peace also protects your mental health. Stress, anger, and constant conflict slowly wear down the mind and body. A person who lives in a constant state of argument eventually becomes exhausted and bitter. But when you train yourself to step away from negativity, your mind becomes clearer, your emotions become steadier, your energy becomes focused on things that truly matter. Peace allows creativity to grow. It allows confidence to build. It allows your spirit to remain strong even when the world around you is loud and chaotic. The ability to remain calm while others lose control is not something that happens overnight. It is a discipline that develops through awareness and practice. Every time you choose not to engage in unnecessary conflict, you strengthen that discipline. And as that discipline grows, you begin to realize something powerful about life, because you understand that your greatest victories are not found in proving others wrong, but in maintaining your peace, protecting your focus, and continuing to move forward with quiet strength while negativity fades behind you and your path remains clear, steady, and guided by a calm spirit that refuses to be distracted by arguments that lead nowhere and voices that have no power over the direction of your life. Surrounding yourself with people who uplift and inspire you life is not meant to be walked alone, but the people who walk beside you will shape the direction of your journey more than you may realize. Every conversation you have, every voice you listen to, and every relationship you keep close has the power to influence your mindset. Some people lift your spirit the moment they enter the room. Their words carry encouragement, their presence brings clarity, and their belief in you reminds you that you are capable of more than you sometimes imagine. These are the people who add strength to your life, the people who inspire you to rise higher than you were yesterday. The truth is that human beings absorb the energy of the environment around them. When you surround yourself with people who think small, complain constantly, and doubt every possibility, their mindset slowly becomes part of your thinking. It may not happen immediately, but over time their negativity can begin to shape the way you see the world. Suddenly, challenges feel bigger, opportunities feel smaller, and the dreams that once felt possible begin to look distant. That is why choosing the right people to stand beside you is one of the most important decisions you will ever make. People who uplift you do not necessarily make life easy, but they make growth possible. They challenge you to think deeper and aim higher. When you share an idea with them, they do not immediately point out why it might fail. Instead, they encourage you to refine it, strengthen it, and pursue it with courage. Their belief becomes a spark that ignites your own confidence. They remind you that effort matters, discipline matters, and persistence always has the power to create change. An inspiring circle of people does something powerful for your mindset. It removes the feeling of limitation. When you see others around you striving, improving, and pushing past their fears, it sends a clear message to your mind that progress is possible. Their actions speak louder than any motivational speech. They show you through their habits that growth is not a dream, but a daily decision. There is also something remarkable about the way supportive people celebrate your success. Instead of feeling threatened by your progress, they feel proud of it. When you achieve something meaningful, they stand beside you with genuine happiness. That kind of support strengthens your spirit because it reminds you that your victories are not lonely moments. They are shared celebrations that inspire everyone in the circle to keep moving forward. Many people underestimate the power of encouragement. A single voice that believes in you during a difficult time can change the direction of your life. When doubt begins to creep into your mind, that voice reminds you of your potential. When obstacles appear, that voice reminds you that obstacles are not the end of the road, but part of the path to something greater. Encouragement is not just kind words. It is fuel for the human spirit. Surrounding yourself with inspiring people also helps you develop accountability. When you are part of a circle that values growth, excuses become harder to accept. The people around you are working, learning, improving, and chasing their own goals. Their dedication becomes a mirror that reflects your own habits. You begin to ask yourself whether you are giving the same level of effort to your own purpose. In this way, the right people push you toward discipline without ever needing to force you. Strong relationships built on encouragement create an environment where ideas can grow freely. In that environment, you are not afraid to speak about your goals or share your ambitions. You know the people around you will listen with respect and offer insight that helps you move forward. Conversations become opportunities for learning rather than moments of judgment. Choosing who surrounds you does not mean you only look for perfect individuals. No one is perfect. Everyone has struggles, doubts, and moments of weakness. What matters is the direction their mindset moves. Do they move toward growth or toward negativity? Do they inspire effort or promote excuses? The difference between those two paths can determine whether your environment strengthens your spirit or slowly drains it. Sometimes making the decision to surround yourself with uplifting individuals requires difficult changes. It may mean spending less time in environments where negativity dominates the atmosphere. It may mean stepping away from relationships that consistently pull you down. These decisions can feel uncomfortable at first, but they are necessary for building a life filled with progress and purpose. As you begin to place inspiring people in your circle, you will notice your mindset changing. Your conversations become more meaningful, your ideas grow stronger, your motivation increases, because the people around you remind you every day that effort and belief can transform ordinary moments into extraordinary achievements. And when a person builds a circle filled with encouragement, vision, and determination, something powerful begins to happen within their life, because they no longer feel alone in their pursuit of growth, and their energy becomes stronger. Their confidence becomes deeper, and their path becomes clearer as they walk forward, surrounded by voices that lift their spirit, challenge their potential, and remind them every single day that greatness becomes possible when the right people stand beside you and inspire you to keep rising higher than you ever believed you could. Go protecting your mind, focus, and future from toxic influence. There is a battle that takes place in every life. And it does not always happen in the open, where people can see it. It happens quietly in the mind. It happens in the moments when you are deciding what voices to listen to and what influences to allow into your life. Your mind is one of the most powerful tools you possess. It shapes your focus, guides your decisions, and determines the direction of your future. When that mind becomes filled with negativity, doubt, and toxic influence, it slowly loses the strength that was meant to carry you forward. Many people do not realize how powerful influence truly is. They think it only matters what they personally believe or what they personally want. But the environment around you has a way of shaping your thoughts without you even noticing it. The words people speak, the attitudes they carry, and the constant energy they bring into your space can slowly begin to affect the way you see yourself and the world around you. When those influences are negative, they plant seeds of doubt in places where confidence once lived. Toxic influence often enters quietly. It may come from people who constantly criticize instead of encouraging. It may come from voices that always focus on failure instead of possibility. It may come from individuals who feel uncomfortable when they see someone else trying to grow. Their negativity may not always sound loud or aggressive, but it slowly surrounds your thinking. Over time, those voices can begin to change the way you view your own potential. When your mind becomes filled with doubt, your focus begins to weaken. Instead of concentrating on your goals, you begin to question them. Instead of moving forward with determination, you hesitate because the negative voices in your environment have made you unsure of your own strength. This is how toxic influence quietly steals opportunity from people. It does not always stop them immediately. Instead, it slows them down, distracts them, and drains the confidence they need to keep moving forward. Protecting your mind requires awareness. It means paying attention to what you hear, what you see, and what kind of energy surrounds your daily life. When you recognize negativity for what it is, you gain the power to stop it from controlling your thoughts. You begin to understand that not every opinion deserves space in your mind. Not every criticism deserves your attention. Your focus is too valuable to be scattered by voices that offer nothing but doubt. Focus is one of the most important elements of success. Every great achievement begins with a clear direction and the discipline to stay committed to that direction. But focus cannot survive in an environment filled with constant negativity. When distractions and toxic attitudes surround you, your attention becomes divided. Instead of investing your energy into progress, you waste it defending yourself against discouragement. Strong individuals understand that protecting their focus is not selfish, it is necessary. They recognize that their dreams require concentration, effort, and belief. Allowing toxic influence to fill their environment would only weaken their ability to achieve those dreams. So they make the decision to guard their mental space with determination. Sometimes that protection requires distance from people who refuse to respect your goals. It may require stepping away from conversations that constantly bring negativity into your mind. It may require ignoring opinions that attempt to limit what you believe is possible for your life. These decisions are not easy, but they are essential for protecting the future you are working to build. Your future is shaped by the thoughts you carry today, but those thoughts are filled with confidence, vision, and determination. Your actions will follow that direction. But if those thoughts are constantly surrounded by doubt and negativity, your progress becomes uncertain. That is why guarding your mind is one of the greatest responsibilities you will ever have. When you remove toxic influence from your environment, something remarkable begins to happen. Your thoughts become clearer. Your focus becomes sharper. The energy that was once drained by negativity begins to return. In that renewed space, your creativity grows stronger and your motivation becomes more powerful. You start to see possibilities again because your mind is no longer clouded by discouraging voices. Protecting your future also means choosing the right influences to replace the negative ones you leave behind. Instead of surrounding yourself with doubt, you begin to surround yourself with encouragement and wisdom. Instead of listening to voices that limit you, you listen to voices that challenge you to rise higher. Those positive influences strengthen your mindset and remind you that growth is always possible when determination is strong. A focused mind, guided by positive influence, becomes unstoppable. It moves forward with purpose. It refuses to be distracted by unnecessary noise. It stays committed to the path even when obstacles appear because the foundation of belief remains solid. And when a person truly understands how to protect their mind, guard their focus, and shield their future from toxic influence, they step into a level of strength that cannot easily be shaken. Because their thoughts remain clear, their vision remains strong, and their determination continues to grow as they move forward with discipline and courage. Refusing to allow negativity to steal the purpose they carry inside, and refusing to let any toxic voice stand between them and the future they are determined to build through focus, belief, and relentless commitment to becoming the best version of themselves every single day. The ending of this journey is not dramatic or loud. It is quiet, steady, and powerful because it comes from a place of clarity and strength. When you protect your energy, your mind, and your focus, you begin to live on your own terms. You stop reacting to every opinion, every insult, and every attempt to pull you off your path. You understand that peace is not just a feeling, it is a choice, and it is a form of strength that shapes everything in your life. Your relationships begin to change naturally. The people who lift you, challenge you, and believe in you remain close, while the ones who drain you fade away. That space you create is not emptiness. It is a garden for growth, for ideas, for purpose, and for dreams that require your full attention. Your confidence grows because you no longer surrender to doubt that is not your own. Your energy increases because it is invested into building, not defending. And in the end, you realize something extraordinary. Life becomes clearer, your purpose sharper, and your spirit unshakable. You are no longer at the mercy of toxic influence. You are free to rise, free to focus, and free to achieve greatness without apology, without distraction, and without fear because your peace is your power.